Welcome. Trying to figure out where you can see the most of me on the ground. And I know you're like, well, I don't see you at all, but that's because I'm figuring out where the camera's going right now. Okay, we are there. We're going to be vertical today. I'm going to be using this ground quite a bit, as well as, I don't know if this light above me is even helping things, but we're going to be using the ground quite a bit. And then we're also going to be using the wall. Um, and we are going to work today on things that we can do to help decrease the suffering and increase enjoyment of life. So, one of the most common things that is painful to people, I don't want to say as they age, because it happened to me when I was young. Like, I started experiencing low back pain when I was very young, but this is really common and it keeps people from doing things. The biggest thing it keeps them from doing is working out. And we see this cycle, right? So you have some pain in your lower back. So you don't want to work out because it hurts. Well, then your muscles atrophy a little bit, or like they become weak. And so then you see more pain in the lower back. Well, then you really don't want to work out, atrophy. So at the end of the day, your lower back is excruciating and you don't want to do anything. And I actually found myself in that boat at a pretty young age because of an injury due to swimming, of all things. There's like, I was a backstroker, and there's kind of overarching thing we do when we start, similar to what gymnasts do. And so they see this certain back injury in gymnasts and swimmers. And I can remember there would be days when I was hunched and I couldn't walk and I was crying and I was spasming. I threw my back out, right? And I was young. I was in my early 20s. And this was still going on. And it wasn't until I discovered um, certain moves, strength moves through actually Pilates, that got me over this. Physical therapy, everything like that, it didn't help. And I'm not going to say that physical therapy doesn't help. That's not what I'm saying here, because it does. But there were certain things that I was taught in Pilates that changed the game that were not taught to me the same way in physical therapy, right? They taught me how to do these exercises, but they didn't explain why. And I'm the kind of person that when I understand why, I can figure out how to do it for myself and do it more consistently and constantly. So that's what we're doing today. By the way, and I always do this whole spiel, then I introduce myself. My name is Gretchen, and I am a group exercise instructor, personal trainer, college professor, all things health. And I'm here to help you and anybody else with low back pain today. If you are here live with me, welcome. I do have a select group of people that come live. This is my coaching and mastermind group that I run, and they actually help dictate these workouts a little bit. So we upload every odd Wednesday to everybody, but we go live twice a month, specifically what has been requested workout wise. If you're interested in that, you can visit www.gretchengegg.com, and that's in the description. So I think I'm going to go lights off up there because that was getting a little bit too much. We are going to start today with something very simply called a wall sit. I'm going to actually do it up here so that you can see what's happening. So this is designed to strengthen my legs and help me find proper posture. So I want you to find a wall, back up to it, and make sure that your head is against that wall, okay? Shoulders back, head against the wall, and then make sure that your lower back is not overarched, right? You don't have a huge gap here, like I can stick my hand through it. You want to bring it close to the wall. It doesn't have to touch the wall completely yet. Then I want you to lower down where your knees get to about 90 degrees. You don't want to make it impossible. And then you can zip your belly and push your lower back in toward the wall. And we're going to stay here. We're going to end up doing this about 5 times. So we're only going to stay here for about 4 breaths. Inhale and exhale. And if you need to, you can back off a little bit, but challenge yourself to stay in this or on the wall for 4 breaths. Let's do 2 more. Inhale and exhale. We're talking slow breaths. Inhale and exhale. Push into the wall to slide up. And then I want you to stay there. I've got to go this way because I realize this next exercise required me to be here. From here, still against the wall, I want you to think about pressing your back against the wall. Lower back will naturally be a little bit away, not too much. Pull the belly in, bring the arms up to the wall, and just try to bring your arms to a V as much against the wall as you can. Notice what happens with your back. Try to pull your spine closer to the wall without your arms coming away. So you've probably got a lot of tension through the back. It's a stretch though, friends. It's a stretch. And then slowly pull these arms down, pressing the elbows back a little bit more as they get lower, bringing this down to a W, and then release. It's a lot, waking up the spine. Drop back down to a wall sit. And breathe here. Inhale and exhale. Inhale and exhale. And I know you're thinking, wow, like where's the lower back stuff in this? This is warming up our body, warming up the muscles around our lower back, and showing us that it's not just the lower back that could be contributing to your pain. Pressing up, good. Now I want you to push away from the wall, but your feet will stay where they are. We're here. From here, hands to the front, soft knee bend. And I want you to just turn and tap the wall behind you and tap the wall behind you. Soft knee bend. I'm going to come to the side here to just demonstrate one more thing. Keep going. Think about what's happening in the lower back. A really common thing that we see is that we have this position, right? So I want you to bring the tailbone. Imagine you've got a little tail here. Bring the tailbone closer to the ground as you continue to do this. Soften the knees. Side to side. I may as well stay here because you're going to need it for the next one. Just twisting through the back. Good. Hold. Let's go back to wall sit. This is our third one. I promised you 5. I'm not going to lie to you. Inhale and exhale. Sink down. Good. Press the shoulders back. Feel the spine start to press against the wall. So we're starting to feel like there's not really a gap anymore. And we're pulling our belly button in just a little bit. That, my friends, is the crucial thing to get to help with lower back pain, is how can we engage the belly, keep breathing, keep moving, and make it more of an embrace versus like a crushing or a sucking in. So push up again. We're going to step away. This time we're going to turn to our left. Try to keep the feet fairly in place. One arm can be on the hip, or I like it on the side, other hand up overhead. You're going to laterally flex and bring it in. Laterally flex. Good. Good. Again, think about that tailbone. Is it pointing down to the ground? Our spine naturally does 4 motions. One is this one, the laterally flexing one. Another one is the rotation that it did last time. And it also bends forward and bends backward, flexion and extension. And you'll see all those motions multiple times in multiple positions today. Relax. Back to the wall for wall sit number 4. Inhale and exhale, flattening the back against the wall and breathing. Again, 4, or I like to maybe 5 breaths. Help us remember 5 wall sits, 5 breaths each. That way when we're doing this, on our own, or we just see a wall and we're like, let's do a wall sit. Go ahead and stand up. You'll remember what you're doing. And 5 and 5 is an easy way to remember it. And you'll see yourself getting stronger if you keep the breaths consistent. So same thing, I'm getting closer to this wall. Keep the feet where they are. You're going to turn to your right this time. And then you're going to lean over and touch the wall. Getting that lateral flexion. Think about getting the tailbone closer to the ground. Press overhead. Good. Just checking our time here. I like to keep these workouts to 30 minutes so you know what to expect. You know how much of your day I'm asking for you to give. And it's also 30 minutes is one of those doable things. It's like sometimes when a workout gets to 45, you're thinking, 45, okay, I got a plan, like it's almost an hour. But at 30, our brain handles it a little bit better, doesn't it? Release. Okay, last wall sit. Ready? And sit down. Press the spine against the wall. And we're breathing. 5 big, deep, full breaths. And at this point, really start to think about embracing through the core, like hugging, knitting those muscles around. So belly button draws back toward the wall, but then up under the rib cage a little bit. So you're kind of got the scoop of the belly. You're not sucking in necessarily, and you're still able to breathe. You're breathing up here through the rib cage. It's actually called rib cage breathing. Good. Stand up, and then one last time, let's bring those arms against the wall. You should be a little bit more open in the spine this time. Think about pressing the arms back against the wall. Think about lengthening the spine. It's okay to have a little bit of a gap there, but we don't want anything to be too far away from the wall. And then slowly, as we bring the arms down, press those elbows a little bit more open all the way and release. Nice. All right, friends, we're going to be moving down to the floor, but on the way, I want us to stop about halfway and do a standing cat and cow. Focus is on the hips. So what you'll be doing here is tucking the tailbone under. See that roundness? And then turning the tailbone up to the sky. Try not to think about the shoulder area. We're not really messing too much with the shoulder. This is just for our hips. Inhale and exhale. We exhale as we tuck. We inhale as we lift. Finding mobility. A lot of us lose that mobility through our hips, especially as we get older. Good. Kind of working through that mobility in the lower back and the hips. Tuck and roll all the way up. Nice and easy. Oh. Sorry, my phone decided that it wanted to tell me how much battery I had left. I'm like, yes, I'm highly aware that I should have charged better. All right, so we're standing. We're going to have our hands on our hips. I just want you to make some hip circles. And I want you to think about the tailbone again and let it draw a circle on the ground. So you might have to tuck a little more than you think to get through that front half of the circle. Drawing on the ground, not on the wall behind you, on the ground. Go the other way. Oh my goodness, you guys, as you probably noticed, I'm in a hotel room. I'm at a conference right now. Yesterday, I visited this booth that had these hula hoops. This is a health, physical education, recreation, dance conference for educators. And they have these hula hoops, and their whole claim was anybody can hula hoop, right? Because of the way these are designed. And you can, they're awesome. But then she said, okay, now go the other way. I did it. I was very proud of myself. I did it right out of the gate. But my brain was on overdrive. I'm like, this is so good for your brain. So it's natural to have one way that feels a little bit more normal than the other. And so hopefully we spent a little more time just now on the side that you didn't do first, that you're not most comfortable with. All right, bringing our hands down now. Bend the knees a little bit. We're going to slide our hands down our legs, finding a forward flexion. That doesn't have to be the deepest forward bend you've ever done in your life. Again, our spine likes to do that forward flexion thing, right? Doesn't it? With our hands on the shins, I want you to roll the shoulder blades back into place and then push yourself out flat. Inhale and exhale, round. Inhale, roll the shoulder blades back in place and push yourself out flat. And relax. Just do 2 more. Inhale, push. And exhale, relax. Last time, inhale, push. And exhale, relax. Beautiful. Find yourself all the way on the ground. Now, at this point, it's absolutely okay to grab something to put under your knees to make it a little bit more comfortable for yourself. I'm on carpet, and that feels fine with me. We are going to be here for a little bit, not solely on our knees, but we will have that option quite a bit. We're going to start in quadruped. So this is hands below shoulders, knees below hips. Now this is going to be a full cat and cow. So exhale, tuck under, chin to chest. I'm really close to the mic now. Tuck the tailbone under. And then inhale, look through. Exhale, tuck under. And inhale through. Now, as you tuck under, I want you to pull the belly button in and up, bracing the core, embracing and bracing. I've used both those words. So one is more like hugging, right? And embracing is like creating a wall of strength. So sometimes it helps to think about creating a wall of strength. But usually when I say that out of the gate, people tend to kind of push their abdominals out to engage them, like punch me in the gut. Not quite what I'm going for here. Good. Beautiful. Sit back just a little bit and reach the arms as far forward as you can. Then we're going to slide forward. So now our head is past our hands, right? If they're a little bit far forward, move them back. I want you to take one foot and extend it out and imagine that it's stuck like fly paper to the ground. See how I lifted it up? Pretend like you can't. Like, oh, I'm trying to do that, but it's stuck. And then feel how that translates itself all the way up the legs into the belly, pulling the belly button up. And then can you add the other leg and hold? Inhale and exhale into a full plank without lifting the hips, without dropping the hips. Hold in this plank. If you need to drop anything, it's the knees. Breathing for 3 breaths, 2 breaths, and 1 breath. Lower the knees if they're not already down. Lower yourself all the way to the mat. Okay, or the floor, or whatever. Same thing like wall sit. We're going to revisit that plank 5 times at 5 breaths. Okay, you can drop the knees every time. You just want to challenge yourself to make it through. So slide the elbows underneath the shoulders. Hopefully you can see my lower body decently. If not, I can still talk about it. Lifting the chest up. From here, we're just going to do practice engaging the lower body. This is the one move that changed my life. This is the move. This was the piece of education that changed my life and my lower back pain forever. And I'm realizing we might be a little crooked right now. That's okay. That's okay. Information's still solid. Press the tops of your feet into the ground, right? Not this part, but this part, the part where your shoelaces would be on a shoe. Press those feet into the ground. Keeping them pressed into the ground. This is like a little Simon Says game, but I'm not going to trick you, I promise. Keeping them pressed into the ground, lift the knees off. Now, keeping them pressed into the ground, keeping the knees lifted off, squeeze the bottom. That is the best lower body engagement that you can have in this floor exercise. And then we're going to breathe through the belly. That's all we're doing here. Inhale. Exhale. As you exhale, pull the belly up away from the carpet. Good. Inhale. Exhale, pull the belly up away from the carpet. If at first it pushes in, give it a second. Think about it. Pull the belly without lifting anything else but the belly muscles. Pull the belly. Good. Pull. And then if you'd like, as you pull the belly, you can add a little lift. And lower. Good. Exhale, lift. Inhale, lower. And if that's a lot for your lower back, don't do it. But we're building up to extension. That should be what we aim for with this lower back. It's the thing that most people avoid, but we can make it feel better. Good. Hands by our hips, push back into kneeling. This time in kneeling, we're going to do an opposite arm and leg reach. So we're going to take that left arm, reach forward, and the right leg, and reach back. And just hold this little balance. Hold the balance. Working through it. Breathing, keeping that belly zipped. Remember that kind of belly pulling up away from the floor that we practice on the ground? Same thing, breathing into the rib cage. Lower the hands. Sit back a little, walk the hands forward. Bring your head past your hands. Extend one foot. Engage everything, trying to lift that foot up. Add the other foot, holding in plank for 5 breaths. Remember, we can drop the knees if we need to. Inhale and exhale. Keep it going. Nice and slow breaths. Last one, inhale and exhale. Good job. Lowering yourselves all the way to the ground. Whoo, nicely done. This time our hands, instead of going forward, are going to hang out right underneath our shoulders. Press the feet in, lift the knees, zip the bottom, use the belly, lifting as high as we can without pushing with our hands. So hands could float if we needed to. Just lifting through the lower back and breathing. Remember, zipping that belly up off the ground, helping engage the lower back. Good. This is just a cobra. The arms here with Sphinx. This is cobra. One more big breath. And up to all fours. Let's go through that opposite side. So if you had with me last time, left hand and right leg, you're going to have a right hand up and left leg back. Just holding. No surprises. Breathing. Opposite arm and leg reach. Simple name for a simple posture. Easy to achieve. And release. Sit back. Walk the hands out. We've got our third plank. Sending your head forward. Pressing one foot. Always get into it this way. Imagine that you're trying to lift that leg so that you turn everything on. Then add the other leg so that you have this lifted plank. Yes, it feels harder than your normal plank because maybe you were here and relying on your muscles. Let your muscle, I'm relying on your bones. Let your muscles work. And we can drop your knees when you need to. Make it through the plank though. Inhaling and exhaling. One more big breath. Nice. Lowering down. Okay, one more with these legs pressed in. Push the toes, lift the knees, engage the belly. Think about that belly button pulling away from the carpet or the mat or whatever you're on, the floor. Because think about it, when you press your belly button in and you can feel that arch in the lower back, pull the belly button back a little bit and you start to feel the game plan change here. So from here, I want us to reach our arms back beside our side and lift just the upper body. Long, long, long head. Lower body stays down, reaching back for the heels. Lifting the arms up a little bit if you want. Toes are down though. We will lift them next time, I promise. You're going to have a chance. This is upper body only locust. Learning how to engage that belly. And lower the hands down. Perfect. Pushing up. All right, let me show you a little bit of this next move. I'm going to turn so that my bottom is facing you. We are going to lift one toe. Now we're not grinding down that knee, so light on the knee. We're going to look over one shoulder, then the other, swaying the hips side to side. A few times on this side. And I'll turn so you can see. And then switch feet. We're doing the same thing on the other side. So you get a little bit more of a lateral flexion on the side that you have the leg lifted on. It just helps increase mobility. Good. And lower down, little lateral flexion there. That was a pretty quick and easy move. Reaching out, getting into our fourth plank. We are almost there, friends. Reaching up and lifting. Plank is one of the best exercises to engage the core in the way that it needs to be engaged for lower back strength, because it's not just about the muscles in your lower back. It's about the stuff that supports your lower back while those muscles are getting stronger. So I challenge you to these 5 planks and to grow stronger by doing plank correctly, without up or down or just kind of making it through, I want you to be lifted. Lowering our knees, lowering all the way to the ground. Last prone exercise. Here we go, friends. Arms are going to reach back. Same as last time, lifting up. Pulling the belly, you can lift the legs this time. Now that we've done all the other stuff, you can see what it's like to lift the legs. And with your arms, I want you to pulse up. Legs stay straight back and arms pulse up. For 10, 9, 8, pull the belly away, 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Good. Press up to kneeling. Oh my goodness. Let's go back into cat and cow, just because we're going to give our lower back a little bit of a break here. Can't believe we're almost through our time together. Almost through. Got a couple stretches on our lower back, on our back that you don't want to miss out on. All right, friends. Last plank. Ready? Press one leg back. Zip the belly. Try to pull the leg away. Add the other leg and hold for 1 breath. 2 breaths. 3. 4. Last one. 5. And release. If you do this exercise or this video over and over, you'll start to see some improvement in that plank posture. We're going to go to our back. So on our back, we're going to start with a pretty simple move. The blades of our hands are on the ground. Our feet are flat. And I want you to tuck the tailbone up, roll up to the shoulders into a bridge, and then lower back down. Tuck up, roll to the shoulders, and back down. 2 more. Roll to the shoulders, pressing, and back down. And last one. Roll up and lower. Good. From here, crossing one leg over, we're just going to breathe for a minute without pushing or pulling. Just let the legs stretch open. And a little figure 4 stretch. Breathe. This isn't about the deepest stretch ever. It's about seeing where the body's willing to go on its own. Now you can do these stretches for a lot longer. We're running out of time a little bit together today. So I'm going to go ahead and switch. But again, you have this stretch. You can do it for as long as you want, especially after the video ends or later today or just when you're thinking about it. And then one of my favorite exercises for releasing the lower back, step the feet out a little wider than the hips, and then you're just going to let the knees sway. I call it windshield wipers, side to side. And like I said, we're running out of time, so stay there for as long as you want. But to keep this true to the 30 minutes, my name is Gretchen, as I'm waddling up to you. This was the workout that is the best for releasing the lower back, for decreasing lower back pain. And I'm so glad that you joined us. Again, we have uploads every odd Wednesday at 10 a.m. And if you're in my coaching and mastermind group, we go live together twice a month.